Hey everybody, we all know what it's like to have a good friend. None of us have as many as we would like to have, but we wanted to talk just a little bit about what we've been learning about the power of friendship and reaching out to people. Because I think sometimes we make loving people a little bit more complicated than Jesus did, and we end up loving people with an agenda. And as soon as your love has an agenda, it ain't love anymore. It's just another program. So one of the things that we spend a little bit of time talking about is friendships and what we've experienced in the best. What are some of the things that you've learned along the way?
So we talk a lot in the kids' book about this project that we did as a family when my brothers and I were really young. We were about 10, 12, and 14, where we went and visited world leaders and we asked what their hope was in, but that wasn't the end of the story. At the end of every interview, we would give these leaders a key and we would say, you are invited to come stay in our house. And it was actually a copy of the key to our front door. And we didn't think anybody would say yes to that, but then one day I got an email that said, "Dear Lindsey, the ambassador and his family would love to come stay with you guys. Can they use their key and stay at your guest house?" And our guest house is our garage with a couple of bunk beds in it. And so, of course, our first response is do we need to remodel? Do we need to make our house good enough to be able to host these new friends? And we were really hoping when they came that they would show up with Secret Service agents and all that stuff. They pulled up in a Corolla and we ended up having pizza on paper plates. And when we were sitting and having dinner together, we asked our new friends, why did you say yes to using your key and coming to stay with us? And their answer was because nobody's invited us before.
Isn't that crazy? They get invited to the White House, they get invited to galas, they get invited to the United Nations, but they don't get invited to somebody's house.
Yeah. And we were thinking a lot too about that story in the Bible about Jesus with Zacchaeus and telling him hey, I'm going to come over to your house for dinner. And I bet Zacchaeus thought he needed to remodel too. I bet that was his first response. But he didn't. And he ended up walking away from that dinner with Jesus with this understanding that I am loved for who I am. I don't need to polish up to be good enough. And his response after that interaction was to go give away all of his money to make things right, where he'd hurt people.
Yeah, there's something beautiful about that we think we need to either remodel the house, or we either need to do that or remodel our entire life. That we need to be somehow good enough to be a friend with someone else. And I think you use what you've got already. Just take where you are, be authentic in your relationships with people, because that's what people want more than anything. Just an authentic friend that has no agenda. They're just actually present with them. And I remember when our friends came over, they had a young son, and our kids sprung into action. What did you guys do?
Oh, we got out balloons and started making balloon animals. We had them covered in crowns, and
he became the balloon animal.
Yes.
So the whole idea to just, instead of thinking you need to dazzle people, dazzle them with your love and engagement and authenticity, and you'll have some great friendships. All right, you guys, I'll see you later.